so long until we saw that one play from Yagao down towards the bottom lane. He instantly joined in, was like, nah, it's cool, I'm going to go join in that bottom
we got a cannon ban from JDG on red. That's the respect they pay Cube after game 1, and I have to say, very much worth the ban.
I agree, but it also is very telling for me what JDG are not comfortable having Zoom on something that isn't Volibear or Renekton, because he's been high priority for them every single time we've come into this. Now, he has played the likes of the Ornn and some of the Wukong and stuff like that, and he hasn't looked that good. Even his Mordekaiser has looked pretty bad, so I don't know. I'm not convinced here from Zoom at all in summer.
This would be a hold my beer. Let me show you how it's done. Because Leyan on IG last year, his pocket pick was the Nidalee. We had 2 big Nidalee players, and Kanavi wasn't around at the time. He was a sub-jungler on JDG when it was flawless. Leyan and Xiaopeng. So let's see how Leyan brings this Nidalee into game 2.
I want to see as well how JDG draft around this, because as we saw in the last game, Vici did a great job to get lanes that were constantly able to contest with JDG or just outright win the lane, so you can't have this Nidalee be a big factor. There is a potential here for JDG to do a similar job here, but I would be surprised to see them trying to go for some of these super aggressive lanes, because honestly, as we talked about, Zoom has a very telling champion pool. Yagao as well has a pretty telling champion pool, and I'm not sure now how much they've handcuffed themselves.
Did you know Kanavi's Lee Sin, 7 games played, he has not lost a single game
disgusting.
on it.
If anyone hasn't seen the highlight reel that Kanavi put on his series with the Vixty Gaming, go back and watch it. Yeah. It was the most disgusting Lee Sin play I have ever seen. It was phenomenal. And it's always a worry when you see him get his hands on Lee Sin, because his positioning in team fights to make these massive plays is second to none.
And Bard, most played champion for LvMao, while on the other side of Vici Gaming, they've gone a very different route. The Ezreal available, but iBoy didn't want to pick it up. He's only played it once. Instead, opting in for the Kaiser with the Sett. So, a very different dynamic for Vici to play through in game 2.
So, here for JDG, I'd be pretty happy for them to lock the Renekton on this next pick, because essentially what Vici are going for is this full dive composition, and the best pick for Vici in my mind at the moment is going to be the likes of a Wukong. So lock your Renekton here means that then you've got a guaranteed good matchup for Zoom in that top lane, and then when you look over at Vici's side, even if they take the Wukong, you're still fine, but it looks like Yagao is pretty happy to just take this Twisted Fate at any point in time, regardless of what the mid lane matchup's going to be. But now, hey look, let's just go towards Galio again, because Zeka did a great job of matching that early pressure. It doubles down on these dives where you've got great setup where Sett goes in, then you get the Galio to follow up on top of it, and now you can still go towards the likes of a Wukong if you want to in that top lane.
I will also say Sett could be mid. Zeka's played this before. Yeah. Also, Pokemon mousepad for iBoy. Super cute. I don't care about the... I actually just want to see the mousepad again.
Well, look, you're going to get to see Leona for Hong. So, as he called, Zeka more than likely, well, definitely at this point, taking that Sett in towards the mid lane. And now, want to see what we are going to get towards Cube in that top side. No.
Yeah, put it away. Put it away. Yeah, no, that's a shout out, because you know Yagao is actually the only person who's played mid lane Kiana. A bit of BM thrown by Hung from Vici, and now the Renekton is theirs. Okay. We've already got so much pick potential on JDG. Added a tiny bit more. Yeah,
so as you said, there's going to be 2 very different styles of play here. Vici heavily in on this dive. It is all or bust. We are jumping onto you, and you guys have got to deal with it. Now, we have seen before, basically the composition JD have play beautifully against this dive style of composition, because if you get this tempo advantage, you can have Yagao play off in the side lane. It's very difficult for anyone on Vici to match against that. And when you're drawing Vici off from multiple different directions, their ability to set up this coordinated dive becomes very difficult to do. And that means that then your Bard becomes super impactful, because you can pick people off with that. You can set up for these Twisted Fate Destinies in towards the back line of Vici. And I think JDG, with this composition, have set them up themselves really nicely to deal with the dive that's on Vici's side.
Yeah, the disengage to stop them in their path. Out of Vici, push forward. I mean, Game 1 was magnificent. We've been singing the praises of Vici Gaming, but it ain't over yet. At this point, reality strikes when you remember that JDG themselves are on a 6-series winning streak for a reason. They're starting to move back in form. Kanavi starting to get better because at the start of the split he was atrocious. Zoom and Yagao in mediocre places. And LoKen's like, boys, I'm playing some of my best League of Legends. Where are you? Now we're at a point where JDG's coming back together towards playoffs. But if they lose against Vici, more questions will erupt. It doesn't matter that you're 7-2 right now in the LPL. Vici are coming. And with such an interesting composition, I can't wait to see how this pans out. See if JDG can take us to a Game 3 is even more important as we enter Summoner's Rift. Will it be the last time? I'm not telling you, I don't know. I put the script in the bin. Script was in the bin. You know what? I had the script at the start of the show.
I asked you to read that. How many times have I got to say it to you?
Do you know how angry I get when I read the script and it says, oh, E-Stars 2-0. And I go, hang on a minute, that's not right. And I get the
Well,
reprint.
look, edits sometimes have to be made. It's the way that this works, all right?
We went off script for the first series. To be fair, in the second one, in a very fun way, we're doing the exact same thing.
Very true.
Oh, Colonel.
Now, I think, though, the writer's block is going to be taken off of JDG to a certain extent here. Because in last game, you had a very good composition from Vici, especially the likes of the Galio, to shackle down Yagao into that mid lane. But that's no longer the case here. Yagao is much more free to go for these roams, make these big plays. And as well, when we look over at the ability of them to team fight earlier with the Ashe coming online slightly earlier than iBoy and a lot of these kind of plays where you can make picks with Yagao nice and early towards these dragons, there is a very real threat here that JDG run away with some of these early plays and just end up with this tempo advantage that we talked about, able to play through a side lane with Yagao, and it's very difficult then for Vici to get a look in this game. However, if Vici are able to find a few of these early fights that, despite how JDG have set up, can turn it in their favor, Vici can just continuously dive and get very aggressive against this JDG side.
At the very least, Yagao taking Comet is my first point of concern. And it's not concern, it's just interest. Because at this point, we've seen so much unsealed spellbookers onto LoKen. Vici, I'm not sure you win this trade. Hung at half health. LoKen and LvMao doing a pretty good job to send it back, but Comet into the Sett. And more concerned about the laning phase here than the utility from Spellbook.
Well, it's not so much of a concern from Yagao, it's more he wants to win lane. He just wants to batter and bruise Zeka the whole way through this laning phase. Best way to do that is take Arcane Comet. You can continuously poke, it's super easy because when you land the stun, you guarantee the Comet damage, then you get your Q damage through as well. So the Twisted Fate can do pretty well. Zeka going for that free footwork though, and having that Sett passive, it's going to be super difficult to try and push him out of lane.
It's interesting because a lot of TFs, you know, we don't talk about TF for playing for lane, right? It's about how he impacts the rest of the map. There you go. Interaction you just talked about. Nimbus Cloak also taken. So you get the opportunity of that extra sorcery perk as Inspiration is the secondary anyway.
And there's kind of like a few mixed bags that you go with the Twisted Fate, obviously. You can go towards, as he talked about, the Unsealed Spellbook, but even as a secondary, when you're going Unsealed Spellbook, you can go for Sorcery, you can go towards the Resolve as well, but, I mean, you can see you're getting a lot of hurt in mid.
It really is. While Leyan topside flash burn with a Searing Charge. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Just about managing to buffer that as the stun came through, so flash burn by Cube, and now you got to be a little bit more careful as Cube because Kanavi can make a gank up towards that top side, and you now have 0 flash available. Oh, okay, I thought that might have been a steal for a second.
Well, Leyan going to get spotted out all the same. Kanavi crossing river to get bottom side priority while Yagao does the same. Very good start by JDG while LvMao setting up for the Cosmic Binding. Yagao hasn't been spotted out here. Ping's getting spammed down, but I think it could be late. In with the Magical Journey. Hung going to take it up, but Teleport Burn. Our first fight of the game with iBoy doing the damage down. Hung absorbs everything. Sonic Wave into Resonating Strike for the execute, but the 2-man, 3-man face breaker as Vici are on the run forward. LvMao gets stunned on up, and it's a trade. Zeka again comes out of nowhere.
Massive play from Zeka to turn that around. JDG could have been out of there scot-free. Leyan still looking for more, though. This Nidalee wants blood.
And she loves the bush. Kanavi running away. Back through the brushes here. And Vici
LoKen
even up.
Careful.
Still here, still throwing out.
Hey, well, Leyan just got his wish. He's able to get into this jungle and try and steal away a few camps, but Kanavi needs to be careful. You still have Hung here, who's happy to help, but with iBoy backing, man advantage towards JDG, and Vici don't want to try and press the issue.
I should reiterate, in Australia, you know, the jungle. God, the
we know. Yeah.
All right. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea.
We're going to move on.
The brush.
Yeah.
As Kanavi still half health. He's throwing out some hooks left, right, and center. LvMao out with the magical journey. Hung still on the prowl himself. All right, I think we can calm down. I think bot stopped. No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Kanavi hiding behind the steal, not there. Kanavi's farming on a whim.
But at the moment, hey, well, Leyan hasn't been able to get that Grump. He did get the Scutland River at least, but it's actually didn't even get the Scutland River. So right now, Kanavi's kind of pushing ahead when it comes to farm. You can see 32 there. He'll now be able to go towards his top side after clearing out his wolves, and he can make this play towards Cube, who's still flashless on the top side. So, I mean, there's still options here for JDG in this early game, despite us going 1-for-1 in that bottom lane play.
Both junglers got the kill as well, so that'll shift the dynamic a little bit. While across the board, bit of a CS lead in this bottom lane. Apart from that, though, everything else seems pretty stable.
Kanavi's coming bot lane, though. And, I mean, both iBoy and Hung still have flash. There's more, I think, a worry from Kanavi here that we might see Leyan with LvMao and LoKen pushing in, coming towards the bot lane play. But he'll be able to get the dragon off of this shove anyway, so he's pretty happy to set this one up. Things
are going down. Vici know about this. iBoy can also scout this out with a nice little void seeker.
This is what we talked about, though. Look, you got Yagao. He's got the Destiny available. He can join in way quicker than Zeka at this dragon play. LoKen and LvMao as well, having that push power and coming. Oh,
that Cosmic Binding came out of nowhere. iBoy at half health. Walking forward, Destiny's there. He flashes immediately. Yagao under turret, sends a card out. And a mistake from Vici to face check is now through the magical journey. iBoy only has the cleanse and he dies to LoKen. And JDG's bottom lane succeed.
That's one of those stuns where you kind of go, okay, come on. But iBoy didn't burn that cleanse straight off the bat, didn't get away from it. And Hung steps forward to tank the gold card to make sure that there wasn't a follow-up from Yagao. And he ends up paying for iBoy trying to hold on to that summoner spell.
Okay, well, a kill over to LoKen is good news for JDG.
Definitely so. And coming into this, I was about to say, hey, look, JDG are going to have control of Dragon. They're going to have control of these early objectives because that is the way that the roaming TF and the plays that you can have from JDG on the bottom side of the map will work. But here, this was a freebie for JDG. There was no reason for Hung and iBoy to go and check that push. There was no, like, you already knew the dragon was down. You're just going to back away, spend the gold, and make sure you're going to be able to continue into this laning phase. But going forward gives LvMao the stun and then sets up everything for JDG.
Hung flash at the end of that as well. I feel like you just do it at the start. As soon as you see the Destiny
I think the summoner
flash
spell usage there was super questionable.
Yeah. You just accept your fate in the end. That's true. As LvMao now on the roam, he's got his Ionian boots already, the level 5 Bard. Hung gonna match this. As Yagao moves in mid lane, LvMao is spotted out. Hung on the wing. Vision control given over to Vici Gaming towards Herald, but Kanavi's roaming up.
Oh,
Hung is in a sandwich.
Hex flash, get out of there.
Hex flash
get
in time. Oh my. Oh, that was tense.
It was a little bit scary, but here's the good news for Vici fans. JDG's mid laner Yagao doesn't have that Destiny available, so when we come to this Rift Herald fight, especially when you've already got Hung who's moved up, you even have, if you look, iBoy kind of teetering around, not sure where he should be positioned right now, but it does mean that Vici, with the way that the map is set up right now, should be able to get this Rift Herald for themselves.
Especially when Leyan's going to do it super quick as well. Zeka's ult pretty threatening. Held him up with the Bandit Cinder this time. Nice block by Kanavi.
This is really smart from iBoy. He's like, look, if Leyan's on this top side of Rift Herald, there's either one or two things that are going to happen. One, we're going to end up fighting at this Rift Herald, so I'm in a position that I can start to walk a little bit faster than LoKen. Or two, they're going to dive me bottom lane. And he read number 2 properly, but in mid lane.
Oh, spear connects. In with the ulti. Yagao's just dead.
That wasn't even close. It was an insta-kill coming through from the two of them. And now, hey, look, you had that early roam from Yagao, gave Zeka a bit of time to crack onto these turret plates. Now you got this Rift Herald here. They can put some serious hurt onto this turret, if not take it altogether.
Should go down. 2 melee users just smacking on the turret. Or at least getting it close to death anyway. The false hope.
The thing is, though, it's giving it a lot of go. Where are we going here?
Destiny onto Leyan. They flash. Call the Forge God lining up as well. Leyan into River while LvMao in with a magical journey. They take him down while Cube now in the middle. Dominus isn't going to save your life. The Sonic Wave, the healing, the flash himself. Kanavi does the same, and it gets Kanavi. LvMao had good intentions, but unfortunately that's where it ends.
The best of intentions sometimes have the worst results.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Vici, they've got pressure bot side, so you need to try and do something here. Ooh, nice.
Walking into a turret. Zeka has HP regen as well. Yeah, laughing, crunching him.
I mean, look at that face on Zeka as well on the camera. He is calm as can be in this game. So what I was about to say is, look, you have Leyan now who has gotten 2 kills. He got a bunch of those turret plate gold as well in that mid lane play. And he's been farming up a pretty large portion of gold as well. He's gone straight towards that Sheen. He's looking to double down on that dive potential. But dives top lane are the answer for JDG.
I was going to say, you know, Cube does not have ulti. This is dead as a dodo. But Kanavi underneath. Oh, he played it well, but JDG going to mess it up a bit.
A little bit, but it's well played by Cube. He's able to get away from that. There's no dragon kick. There's no ultimate from Zoom. So well played by the Renekton to escape away from that. And again, Vici are doing a great job of just shutting down what JDG are trying to do. Now you know Kanavi and Zoom are back in base. They can either look towards making plays in this river or at least getting vision for themselves to set up towards this dragon in 15 seconds.
It's the duo we talked about, Zeka and Leyan. I mean, even though it results to Ike's when Ike's is in the roster, leading the gold shot.
And as we start to get towards this dragon now, again, we're seeing Yagao not having this Destiny up and available, so he's got to come in as a front to back with the way that JDG want to take this fight, and that sets up beautifully for Vici, because as we said, they want to go for this dive potential, but it looks like JDG don't even want to try and contest, knowing that they can't spread out enough and thwart the dive that Vici want to go for.
I'm thinking about picks off to the side, but won't be able to do it as the mountain comes on up. A Mountain Soul here for JDG would just be fantastic, especially when you have the likes of an Ornn. Cube absorbing pressure topside against that Sett Ornn for now, while across the board, CS is pretty much even within the jungle. Gold lead for JDG at about 500 gold, and just an extra couple of assists. Those extra kills, of course, making the difference.
Don't forget, though, what we talked about. Vici are waiting still to come online fully. Like, Zeka, well, look, he's online at all points in time. Leyan is definitely getting to a portion of the game where he is super strong, but iBoy is not.
Hang on. Flash phase breaker into the enemy team. Not coordinate with Hung's ult, but it might not matter because Leyan comes in the nick of time, and now that mid turret that was just about to go down is definitely dropping.
And now it gets very difficult for Yagao to try and make plays because, hey, look, Zeka's got you shoved underneath your mid-tier 2. They can, if you go for a play on bot side or top side, look to crack open that tier 2, and then it becomes so much more difficult for you to hold on to these outer structures as well. Plus, Vici get full access to the jungle now. This is exactly Leyan's dream.
Just taking everything in sight. LvMao wants to pick off the back end. Pigs are getting spammed down. Look bottom, guys. Zeka without ulti won't be able to stop this, but you can see Kanavi starting to group on up. We're going to see a one-on-one, aren't we? Well, let's be honest. Cube won't do enough damage to kill Zoom, but maybe with Dominus, this turns around. Call the Forge God was bad. Zoom, you're meant to be a top player. Destiny to save the day. Cube gets the healing. Slice and dice. He turns to kill Zoom, who flashes away. Now onto Yagao. Needs a gold card and gets it. So much harder for JDG than you thought it would be.
And JDG are still making plays on this bottom side, though, so they're winning across the board. And look, even if it wasn't clean, it's still JDG netting gold.
You take those. You definitely take those. Zeka getting in position without ulti, won't be able to make the response, so he's heading back mid.
And this is what we talked about, was Yagao being unleashed a little bit this time around. Because in game number 1, as we said, he's got to be holding hands with Zeka the whole time he tries to move. This time, though, he is making these plays, he is getting these advantages, but it's just being answered by Vici in a lot of situations.
Sonic Wave, cripple down, Solar Flare on 2, Dragon Strike is still available. Kanavi not in range. iBoy tags, but that's it.
Zeka was off to the side, so they're kind of posturing, but now Zeka's just going to hop away with that dead man's plate. He is very quick right now. Even having that Merc Threads as well means when we get into these team fights, Chant of Crystal Arrows aren't going to do too much. Neither of these stun cards, so Zeka is going to be gunning onto the backline of JDG.
Look at where Leyan is once again. Remember, he has the Herald in hand and now ready to charge on forward. LvMao dies. Mid-portal opens up Leyan to spear LoKen. Dives under turret. Flash match. Leyan is pouncing and gets another double right in front of the troubling turret. Sonic Wave misses from Kanavi. And this is Jungle v Jungle again.
And you said it. Hold my beer. Kanavi, I'm going to show you what a real Nidalee player looks like. He takes it over.
And you know what? I said he has Herald. What am I saying? He's got a Lich Bane. That's why he's glowing purple. No wonder he does so much damage. 5-1 and 0. Leyan having the series of his life. Showing Kanavi, this is what I look like on IG.
And he can go get a Rift Herald if he wants. That's up. But look at the damage here. Lich Bane, Electrocute, Dead Bard. And then this confidence from Leyan to say, I don't care. I'm making this play happen whether you like it or not, LoKen. Gets the flash, gets the kill, and manages to escape away from Kanavi as well. In that case, is insane.
Ahead by kills, ahead in CS. Leyan looking to carry Vici to victory. Your hands are in the air, Dagda, because Vici at 2k gold ahead. And once again, impressing us on the Rift. Now, it's been a little bit closer in this early game, but Leyan on the second Herald, as you mentioned. Control of topside, absolute.
It is closer, but again, it's JDG who are making these early plays. They're the ones that have the destiny. They're the ones that have LvMao and LoKen on this Ashe and Bard. They are trying to be the proactive ones in the early stages before iBoy comes online. Now though, Vici have 2 towers. They have that Rift Herald, they can take a third. And there's not really much that JDG are able to do about it right now.
At this point, haven't seen much of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow or the Tempered Fate. You got a highlight on Leyan. Look at that cute smile.
That's the smile of a killer. Oh no, LvMao. Okay. Well, got the portal, but it's about stopping LvMao's back because, hey, 1 second until that Mountain Dragon's up.
Hang on. A little Cosmic Binding to seal the deal, but Leyan is nearby, a level up over Kanavi. Kanavi secured the Scuttle Crab. This is the start of the Mountain Rift. Vici are grouping up.
This is a little bit dangerous for Vici because look at where the top laners are positioned as well. Zoom's about to back. He can join in this team and set up for a pretty nice front-to-back fight with Yagao clearing this mid lane wave. He has the destiny to get in onto the back line for Vici, so they need to be careful or set this fight up straight off the bat.
Look at where Yagao is. Destiny in the back. LvMao takes a magical journey. The flank is here. Solar Flame misses in the pit, and the Wombo makes it through as Kanavi gets the kick on down. Leyan, the most fed member, has been shut down as a killer instinct into the back line, and iBoy picks up 1, but now versus 3 has to flash away. LoKen picks up Cube on the back line. And you talked about danger. JDG love it.
And this is where JDG can maneuver around what Vici are trying to do. The issue there is that Zeka is trying to be the team setup, but everyone on Vici is so spread out, they can't follow up on the engage, and it will be JDG securing their second dragon.
All right, working towards the Mountain Rift. The bonus stat's going to be loved by Zoom on the Ornn as we take a look again at the 10 steep play.
The further spread out JDG are, the better, because what Vici are trying to do is, as you can see with Zeka, grab Ornn and toss him back onto JDG's backline. But because you've got all this maneuverability with Yagao's ultimate, with the portals from LvMao, they're able to separate out this fight so that coordinated dive effort doesn't come through, particularly when Leyan gets stunned up in the middle of the fight, doesn't have the Zhonya's to keep himself safe. Leyan gets burst out, as do the rest of Vici.
Kanavi got a 3-man kick.
Yeah.
That was insane. I mean, we're just seeing the flashbacks again of his Lee Sin. Undefeated on this pick for a reason. Kanavi 2-1 and 2, but he set up the rest of the team. You can see gold back to pretty much even, bar, let's say about 1,000 for now in Vici's favor, which is not too meaningful. That'll, of course, explode a bit more when Zeka gets the turret by himself. And as we get closer towards the Baron, the next objective, that's what we got to start looking for. These item purchases coming across the board now with 2-item Kai'Sa and almost 2-item LoKen.
And we've also still got a bit more gold that can be injected if Cube doesn't get caught.
Teleport being burnt, flash burnt, that TP. Nothing up. Yagao also will have Destiny soon.
So this just opens up Zeka, who's on that turret already. Like, That was way too aggressive from JDG without the guaranteed stun, and now Zeka's putting pressure. Top, you still have this Rift Herald, don't forget, which is what I wanted to point out, this more injection of gold into Vici's favor, and it looks like with just a few more autos, Zeka can get this.
I mean, with the Rift Herald there, but the thing is, grouped as 4. JDG will get mid.
Okay, I wasn't sure if Zeka was going to stick around. Yagao was hovering between mid and this top side, so if anything kicked off in that mid lane, he could Destiny in, but you still get that charge onto the top lane's turret, and Zeka has teleport. He can match Yagao right now, and then make sure that if any funny business does go on, he can still join in.
At the very least, Vici now grouping up around mid for the remainder of JDG. Cube sitting bot, has no TP or flash. As he pushes on out, Vici at least a nearby.
So there's no objectives right now, so Cube's fine.
Oh, hang on. It's onto iBoy through the mid lane. Gold card sent out to Zeka instead. That big ulti, that's nothing.
I have not been impressed with Yagao's Twisted Fate. Like, the over-aggression trying to make these TP plays before anything's actually set up is kind of nuts. I mean, even if you want to have LvMao lead with the Tempered Fate to pick off iBoy, then come in with Yagao, that could work great. But the fact he's going so deep and not actually finding the plays, but now might get caught out himself.
He doesn't have any summoners. Zeka and Leyan walking up. The Facebreaker will pull him in. The gold card burnt onto Leyan, but the damage too much. Into the wall he'll go. The poke gives Zeka the kill. And now, exposure.
Zoom is bought with no teleport. Vici can go towards Baron.
They should know this as well. Pings are being spammed down. He's searing charged up. Vici.
Do it.
I guess they're like, well, we don't have enough damage to do it quickly, but I disagree.
Yeah, you've 2 levels over Kanavi. You've all this passive damage that can come through it. iBoy, Cube has a bunch of damage as well, but they're not going to get anything with it. Even if they pushed in top and went for the tower. Something. Okay.
Reset. I'm in a good mood. I don't know about you. As long as it's not what we saw in the first series, I'm in a good... Hey, I told you I was going to be positive. I've been enjoying the heck... This looks like the best game of League of Legends I've ever seen when you cast what we cast.
Yeah, true. After today, yeah, this is definitely looking pretty damn good. But
Clement, no more OMG for me.
No more DMO.
No more E-Star. No DMO. Look, I'm being harsh.
We'll take purely top esports and D5. No, right? Okay, cool.
I'm being harsh. I find interest in those games. I mean, every team has something going on in the LPL. That's kind of why our region's so unique. But just no more of today. That's what I ask. Hey, Colonel, what's your deal? What do you think? You think something good's going on for Vici?
I mean, who doesn't think something good is going on for Vici? The performance in this game has been fantastic. Catching out Yagao a bunch of different times. And once again, it's the man on a mission in the mid lane for Vici that it has all stemmed from. Zeka has looked so spectacular in this series, and it's the mid-jungle 2v2 where we wanted to see Vici shine that has been set up as a result. Yeah. Leyan has been able to play through Zeka so many times. Like, the first 3 kills that Leyan got were by the setup that came from Zeka. Like, this is beautiful to watch.
And then you get a better result of iBoy, right? With better structure. Much like his days in EDG where you had, you know, Scout, Ray, / a Jinu at one point, I believe in 2019 summer. I'm going to pause on my thought process because Teleport's being burnt mid. Zeka's running towards LoKen. Good use of Blade of the Wrong King to slow him down, but LvMao gets poked down by the Javelin toss. This is Mountain Dragon number 2. This would be Dragon number 2 for Vici. JDG lost progress in River, but Call the Forge God being layered down. We're starting the fight only onto the support. Kanavi in the backline onto Leyan, who flashes away. Tempered Fate onto Zeka and iBoy. While Hung goes in the backside, they're split away. The support of Vici is taking the harass while Yagao has to flash away. iBoy turns onto him, cleanses immediately. Hung has wasted so much time, but will lose his life. A 1-for-1. We're doing the fight again. As into the backline, the showstopper. Zeka bringing his name into fruition. Haymaker still available for the shield as Leyan snipes down. Kicked by Kanavi. Trades across the board. Zoom with a 2-man knockup. But Zeka over the wall again. And Zoom's left on his lonesome. Flushes over the wall. iBoy matches him. And Vici Gaming do it all again!
And they can turn towards this dragon now as well, the rightful prize after how they played that fight. Hung going aggressive was the best decision you could have made in that fight, and you netted Vici that win.
Smiles on their faces, good graces. 3K gold lead. And Vici putting JDG in their place.
But look how smart Vici played this. So they all kite back apart from Hung. He goes onto LoKen, which commands the attention of LvMao, of Zoom, and it means the other 4 members of Vici can jump onto JDG. This spread out fight doesn't mean anything when Vici can dive on you. And with how spread out and how far apart they were, and a curious call here from Kanavi to try and burst the dragon with no real damage here, when Vici turned, like the double snipe from iBoy and Leyan onto LvMao there, and then iBoy able to just pop off, free from any sort of danger thanks to Zeka jumping onto LoKen here. Like, Vici played that so damn well.
Man, even flashing over for the final pick. Like, Kanavi really tried to get Leyan, who's doing so much as Hung's been caught out. Now, let's take back a compliment, Hung. We need context. What were you doing there?
I'm not entirely certain because wasn't really very many members of Vici around, but
that was a really big pick because no TP on the mid laner. They're going to move up for this, and Baron's going down.
Look at how Zeka tries to set this up. There's the Shrellians to move them forward,
They've moved on in. You know who they found? It's onto Leyan, one of the most fed members. Vici all of a sudden, 3 versus 5.
Baron has started up once again. iBoy has to be the main damage source here. But if Zeka can set up with Zoom to slam onto LoKen, he might be able to make a play happen.
They don't want to give this Baron over. LvMao gets ulted into the wall. It doesn't match much effect as Zeka in the middle of the pit. Wants to absorb. Cube runs in as well. Kicked on back is iBoy. Killer instinct. He'll get it. The Baron gets paused here as Vici lose their AD carry. Zeka's trying to take it down, but it's too late. And all of a sudden, Vici have given the gold back.
1 pick leads to 2, leads to everything in favor of JDG. And just like that, they've swung everything back in their favor. And Baron means they can keep pushing. You've got Yagao who can play off in the side lane, spread out the love, share it across all the minions, and make the towers hurt.
Make the world a better place is what you're telling me. I need to see how Hung died. That was big. Here we go. Oh.
Not respecting the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and JDG lick their lips hungrily as they take him down. And at that point, look, you can't really fight this. And again, because Vici come in spread out here, Leyan gets picked off before the Baron because they're not ready for this call because Hung gets picked. And then separation is the name of the game for JDG. Divide and conquer, picking Zeka off with the Tempered Fate, sets them up to take out Cube. Kanavi doing Kanavi things on this Lee Sin to kill iBoy. And now they are in control. They can start to shove out these waves, collect some of these towers, and look at when their Baron buff runs off. It's right as that 3rd dragon spawns for them as well. True. That could put them onto Soul Point.
Oh, JDG got some spice in this series then. At the very least. Hung getting caught by that Enchanted Crystal Arrow, it leads to this. JDG barreling down multiple lanes. Now they control of Vici's jungle. Absolute. As Yagao on a side lane, Zeka really willing to match this here as the full tank versus the 3-item TF. Can they hold on to their base?
That is the big question. I believe they should be okay. They do have a...
hang on. iBoy! Killer instinct QSS as well. Runs away. Versus 3, the Tempered Fate locks down the 80 carry. Here comes Call the Forge God, and iBoy's dead. It looked like a big play, but it might have just thrown it away.
I mean, he tried. He went really far in and nearly gets the damage, but the rest of JDG were there. I don't know what he was thinking.
They're running forward. Inhibitor's going to be exposed. 30 seconds on iBoy. It's a 4 versus 5. With the Baron buff, JDG are going top.
And you have to be so careful here as Vici because you know Kanavi's looking for this insect play. If he gets onto the likes of Leyan, well, that's a dead Nidalee straight off the bat. Now pushing in for their 2nd inhibitor. Vici needs to stop getting caught.
Well, here Zeka has to kind of pull back. 5 members channeling forward. Red card from Yagao. Cube now joining up. Look at where Hung is though, Dagda. Trying for a flank, but there is a ward.
iBoy is just spawned as well, so fortunately with that, JDG will manage to escape. They can get back to base. Dragon is up though. Vici can burst it down before JDG are able to get back onto the map, but it's going to be pretty close call. They'll probably have to fight their way out of the pit.
I mean, iBoy's got a long way to path around. This is the prop of being on red side. Vici not starting it yet. Okay.
Yeah, you got the TP from Yagao down towards the bottom lane to make sure he could come and contest this. So, again, JDG, they want to be the ones that are already got JDG. Sorry, Vici want to have JDG in the pit because that's how Zeka can get these big ultimates off, get onto Ornn, slap them on top of JDG, but not looking likely because, well, Vici have to go deal with side waves. They have to deal with that top lane that's pushing in. The mid wasn't in the right position either. And as JDG, you got a big old arrow down towards this bottom lane where that's the only structures that are left for you.
Sole point. Need to see a big ulti out of Zeka. Cube to get back. iBoy with his killer instincts has been ambitious. The last one, you could feel something, but it just wasn't to be. As against this bottom lane inhibitor, the only inhibitor left standing, they look to defend.
And Vici have got to time this engage. Because you are going to have super minions on the top, you're going to have super minions in the mid. They want to be as 5 when they go for this play, but it's going to be really difficult because as you can see, Yagao is forcing these minions in towards mid. Cube's got to go deal with it, and you can't go for a 4v4 because of how quickly Twist the Fate can join in.
At least trying to poke them down to dissuade them. Kanavi over the wall, ready to go on in. Yagao in the open wave. At least Leyan has a lot of wave clear here with Cougar form, but the problem is spreading them thin. And the rest of the wave clear not really there.
Time is ticking away though. Yagao is very much in the base of JDG, or Vici right now. He's on to Nexus turrets.
I mean, Yagao could just slowly end this game, drawing them back. Inhibitor turret down here. Meanwhile, as Vici pull off, they're going to lose it. They've got to make a decision, but they're knocked up instead. Hung gets knocked up himself. Zeka in the backline with the showstopper, pulls them in. Brick wall, apparently, as iBoy starts dealing damage, but LoKen has taken down Hung. Call the Forge God, secures Zeka, and forward goes LoKen, and the rest of JDG. That'll be all she wrote, and Vici getting put down.
Hung makes one mistake, and all that Vici have built an empire to maybe move themselves forward instead crumbles to dust, and JDG will push us to a game 3.
That game 3, where Vici felt it, that this could have been the 2-0 series to take down the spring champions. But JDG got some fire in them. We're going the distance once again.